Atz Lee Kilcher has always been known as a strong, fearless woman who lives in one of the toughest places on Earth, the wild and icy lands of Alaska. Many people admire her for her courage and the way she faces every challenge that comes her way. But now, something surprising has come to light that no one saw coming. For a long time, Atz Lee kept a secret deep inside her heart, something she never spoke about publicly. Suddenly, she decided it was time to share this secret with the world. This secret involves the people she worked with on the popular TV show Alaskan Last Frontier. Everyone who watches the show thinks they know the story behind the scenes. But Atz Lee is about to change everything. She is about to tell us the truth about some people she has had a very difficult time with. This confession is not just about small disagreements or simple misunderstandings. It is about strong feelings of anger, hurt, and disappointment that Atz Lee has carried for years. What made her hold this back for so long? Why did she choose now to speak out? The answers to these questions keep people guessing and waiting to hear more. Her life is already full of struggles just from living in such a harsh environment, but now it seems there were also battles within her own team that made things even harder. People are curious to know who these 5 people are and what exactly happened between them and Atz Lee. Was it jealousy, betrayal, or something else? This new revelation is like a secret door opening to a side of Atz Lee's story that was hidden before. The suspense grows because fans have loved watching her brave the Alaskan wilderness. But they never expected that behind the cameras, there were deep conflicts that shook her world. Atz Lee's choice to finally speak out shows she is ready to face whatever comes next, no matter how hard it might be. It is a moment that will change the way people see her and the show forever. Everyone who cares about Atz Lee and Alaskan Last Frontier now waits with bated breath to hear the full story and understand the pain she has carried for so long. This first part of her confession sets the stage for what promises to be a shocking and emotional journey into the truth she has been hiding. The mystery about who she hated the most makes everyone want to listen closely, as this could be the most revealing chapter of her life yet. After years of keeping her feelings inside, Atz Lee Kilcher has finally decided to break her silence and name the 5 people from Alaskan Last Frontier who she says caused her the most pain. This moment is full of suspense because fans have waited a long time to hear what she really thinks about the people she worked with so closely. It is not easy for anyone to openly say who they truly dislike, especially when those people are part of a family or team that is shown on TV. Atz Lee's decision to speak out now makes everyone wonder what happened to make her hold back for so long. Why did she keep these feelings hidden all these years? The curiosity builds as people ask themselves who these 5 individuals could be. Are they family members, close friends, or people she only worked with on the show? What did these people do to make Atz Lee feel so hurt and angry? The fact that she has a list of 5 names shows that her feelings are serious and not just small annoyances. It suggests that these people may have betrayed her trust or caused conflicts that were hard to fix. This revelation gives a new perspective on the relationships behind the scenes of Alaskan Last Frontier. The show often shows the struggles of living in the wild, but now it seems there were personal battles that viewers never knew about. Atz Lee's words carry a heavy weight because she is not someone who speaks lightly. She has spent years building a tough image, but this confession shows a more vulnerable side of her. She is willing to face the consequences of speaking the truth, even if it changes how fans and others see her and the people involved. The suspense grows because everyone wants to know if these named people will respond or if more secrets will come out. Atz Lee's courage to finally say these names opens the door to a story full of pain, anger, and maybe even hope for healing. Fans are curious to hear the full story behind each name and understand why she felt so deeply about them. This part of the story reminds us that even in the harshest environments, like the Alaskan wilderness, the hardest battles can happen between people we trust the most. The tension and emotion in Atz Lee's confession make it clear that her experience on Alaskan last frontier was much more complicated than it seemed. Now, the stage is set for more revelations, and the question everyone asks is what will happen next. Will these relationships ever be repaired, or is this the final chapter of a long struggle? The suspense and curiosity keep growing as the story unfolds, leaving fans eager to learn more about the people Atz Lee named and the reasons behind her strong feelings. This moment marks a turning point, not just for Atz Lee, but for the whole story of Alaskan last frontier, as the truth finally comes to light. The moment Atz Lee Kilcher revealed the names of the 5 people she hated the most from Alaskan last frontier sent shockwaves through her fans and everyone who follows the show. But the real mystery lies in what went wrong behind the scenes that made her feel this way. People have always been curious about the relationships on the show, because living in the wild together is hard, and tensions can easily rise. But no one expected such deep conflict to exist between Atz Lee and these individuals. The suspense grows because we don't yet know the full story of what happened to cause such strong feelings of hatred. Was it betrayal, lies, jealousy, or something else? Atz Lee's words hint at secrets that have been hidden from the cameras, leaving fans wondering what they missed while watching the show. What caused the breakdown of trust? What incidents made these relationships so painful? This curiosity pulls everyone in because it is hard to believe that people who share a common struggle, fighting to survive in the harsh Alaskan environment, could turn on each other with such bitterness. Atz Lee's life has been shaped by tough challenges, and yet the hardest battles might have been with the very people she depended on. As she begins to expose these secrets, the suspense builds even more. What else will she reveal? Will this lead to healing or more conflict? The emotional weight of this part of her story shows that sometimes the hardest moments are not the storms outside, but the storms inside our hearts. The way Atz Lee tells it, this was not just about small fights or disagreements, but deep wounds that cut through years of shared history and trust. Her courage to share these feelings makes fans feel closer to her and more eager to understand the full truth. The curiosity grows because the show only tells part of the story, and now Atz Lee's words open a new window into a world of pain and betrayal. What happened to those who were once close to her? Did they know how much they hurt her? This part of her story is filled with emotion and suspense, like a hidden chapter finally coming to light. Everyone wants to know what comes next, and if there will be answers or more surprises. This revelation changes how people see the show and the people on it, because it shows that even in the most beautiful and wild places, human hearts can suffer the most. The mystery of what went wrong and who really hurt Atz Lee keeps growing, and fans are left wanting to hear every detail of her story. This moment is more than just a confession. It is a powerful reminder that behind every person is a story filled with struggles we may never fully understand until they choose to share it. The suspense is real, and the curiosity is alive, because Atz Lee's truth has only just begun to unfold. Atz Lee Kilcher's life has always been about surviving in one of the toughest places on Earth, the wild and frozen wilderness of Alaska. But behind that strength lies a story filled with pain, caused by people she once trusted deeply. Living in the Alaskan wilderness requires toughness, patience, and teamwork, and Atz Lee has faced many dangers from nature itself. But what she reveals now is that some of her biggest struggles were not from the cold or the wild animals, but from the people she worked with and lived alongside on Alaskan last frontier. This makes us curious because it is hard to imagine that the harsh land was not the hardest part of her journey. The suspense builds as she explains how these personal struggles changed her life in ways most people never saw. She trusted these people to be her family and support, but instead, there were moments of betrayal and deep hurt that left lasting scars. The story makes us wonder, what exactly happened to create such tension, and how Atz Lee managed to keep going despite these heavy feelings. Her life in the wild is already full of challenges, but dealing with difficult relationships made her path even more painful. We want to know how these conflicts affected her daily life, her decisions, and her spirit. Did these struggles change how she worked with others, or how she lived in such a remote place? Atz Lee's honesty about her pain shows her true strength and courage, revealing that even the strongest people have moments of weakness and sadness. The suspense continues to grow because as she shares her story, we sense there are many hidden emotions and events that shaped her. What lessons did she learn from these experiences? How did she heal from the hurt? Fans become more connected to her story because it is not just about adventure or survival in the wild, it is about real human emotions and difficult relationships. This makes Atz Lee's story more relatable and powerful. The curiosity rises as we wonder if these painful relationships are still part of her life or if she has found peace. What has changed since she revealed the names? Is there hope for forgiveness or understanding? This part of her story gives a deeper look into the struggles behind the scenes of the popular show and makes fans see Atz Lee not just as a strong woman facing nature, but as a person who has faced emotional battles that shaped who she is today. The suspense and mystery invite us to keep listening and learning about her journey. This part shows us that life is not only about fighting the cold or the wild, but also about surviving the pain caused by those closest to us. It makes Atz Lee's story even more real and compelling, as we realize her strength comes not only from her survival skills, but from her ability to face difficult feelings and continue moving forward no matter what. Atz Lee Kilcher's story takes a deeper and more emotional turn as she reveals the heavy burden of betrayal and hurt she has carried because of the people she once trusted from Alaskan last frontier. This part of her story is filled with strong feelings that many people might find hard to understand. Imagine living in a harsh place where every day is a fight to survive, and then adding the pain of being let down by those you thought were on your side. Atz Lee's words carry a weight of sadness and disappointment as she talks about how these relationships affected not only her feelings, but her whole family's ability to cope with life in the wild. It is one thing to face the cold, the snow, and the dangers of Alaska, but it is something else entirely to face betrayal from people close to you. The suspense grows because we want to know what exactly happened. What did these people do that caused Atz Lee so much pain? Did they betray her trust in small ways or in big life-changing moments? The curiosity is strong because this part of the story shows a side of Atz Lee that is vulnerable and deeply human. She shares how these hurts were not just about arguments or disagreements, but wounds that touched her heart and made her question who she could rely on. This emotional struggle adds a powerful layer to the story, making us see Atz Lee not just as a tough survivor, but as someone who has been deeply hurt and is brave enough to talk about it. The pain she describes is a reminder that even the strongest people feel sadness, anger, and betrayal, and these feelings can change how we see the people around us. Fans and viewers are left wondering how Atz Lee managed to keep going despite this emotional weight. Did she find ways to heal? Did she confront the people who hurt her? The suspense is alive because this part of the story opens the door to more questions about the future. Will these wounds ever fully heal? Will there be forgiveness, or has the pain left permanent scars? Atz Lee's honesty brings a real and raw emotion to the story that makes it impossible to look away. It reminds us that behind every person's strength, there can be hidden struggles that are not always visible. The curiosity about what happened next, how these relationships ended, and what lessons Atz Lee learned keeps growing with every word she shares. This part of her journey is a powerful lesson about trust, pain, and the courage it takes to speak the truth about those who hurt us the most. The suspense and emotional depth make this story unforgettable and leave fans wanting to know more about the impact these experiences had on Atz Lee's life and heart.